We are talking food security on what now? Green grass, not on white paper. That's why we are gathered here. This thing we are doing here is nationwide. We're just coming from our Abuja summit and Mama was there. And we have done this so many places. Thank God today you are here. So I want you to be attentive. We don't have the whole time today, just the introduction. I have here with me Reverend Jasper. So many of us, I have been asking questions since I came here. I said, do you people have snail farms? Do you have snail farmers here?
Yes.
You have snail farmers?
Yes.
You have one of the biggest and largest snail farmer in West Africa, right here in the name of Pastor Jackson, Jasper. Can we clap for him? You are going to hear more on snaring. And if you're not interested, you can be interested. Because what we have brought to us is something that everybody ought to go into farming. Our target is that 70% of Nigerians can be able to cultivate what they can eat at family level. If 70% of us are self-sustained in our agricultural practice at our family level, there's no how we talk about hunger in Nigeria. But if this 70% is turned around in the other way around to only depend on what the 30 produce, in no distant time we will go into food security scarcity. Do we understand that?
Yes.
That's why we are here. Now, we are talking from the angle of nanotechnology. I am very, very sure some of us here may not have heard about nanotechnology. That's why it is important that we have to come and let you know what is nano. Nano is the use of an indivisible particle of an energy for production. An indivisible particle of an element for what? Production. So we are looking into what we can do, not only by developing it, but also sustaining it. With nanotechnology, as we are going to hear now, or I'm going to explain to you now, or explain to us, you will certainly discover that that is what we need in our agricultural system. I heard people here say, poultry farmer, poultry farmer. It looks like we have many poultry farmers here. If a poultry farmer, please your hand. All right. We have this nutrient is a nanotechnology nutrient. I will talk about it. This is a nanotechnology fertilizer. What I have in my hand here is up to 4 bags of a conventional fertilizer. This thing here is up to how many bags?
4 bags.
Certainly. And whatever you use it to cultivate, it can never be tasted and it will give you harmful acidic content. Never. Tested and approved by Ahmadu Bello University in Nigeria, not overseas. And then we have super insecticide. With this, we are going to look at the harmfulness of the things we have been using before the arrival of the nanotechnology. I don't have any apology when I go around to say our women are going into early menopause. We have our women here. Seriously. When we say our women, it involves your daughter and my daughter. We are all parents. Or we are going to be parents. I love my kids. When I see them, I love them. And you also love your children. Am I right?
Yes.
So we have to get up to develop a system, work in a system that can be better for their own generation. Even in our own time, we may have fallen victim of it. But may our children never fall such a victim.
Amen.
That's why we are here. It is not because of our weather, not because of our climate, not because of poverty. It is because of what we eat. Nigeria produce, every one of us are here, we are all adults. It doesn't sell as much as we demand or needed overseas. And sometimes people think that, oh, I am a big man, I have money, I don't eat junk food. I don't eat junk food. I used to eat at Sheraton, I used to eat at big hotels. We have Hilton hotels here. I don't eat anyhow. If the definition of junk food is where you eat it, then you are getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. If I eat acidic and toxic yam in Sheraton, I also eat the same yam at the motor park. All of us are eating what? Junk food. If where they buy their produce is the same open market or the same background of fertilizer, acidic, it is the same junk food, no matter where you cook it. Do we understand?
Yes.
Now, let me come up here. Can we have a poultry farmer up to 2 years you have been in the poultry industry? Can I have him? Up to 2 years?
Yes.
Or more than that?
Yes.
And you have reared up to 200 birds? More than that?
Yes.
Can I have somebody here? Can I have somebody here? You are sitting in the front. One man, one woman. Okay. In your experience as a poultry farmer, how do you, if you have a day-old bird, how do you start off with it?
A day-old bird, start off with water and glucose.
Okay.
Then later starter feed.
Okay. Do you give medications?
Not the same day. Not the same day.
So, what do you do to get it to maturity?
Okay. The following day, I'll give vaccine for vaccine.
Okay.
And after a week, I'll give acetylcholine vaccine.
Okay. Have you recorded, if I give you 200 birds, what's the minimum mortality you think you can record? If I give like 200 birds.
When I started, I didn't actually follow the company that sent the birds to me. I did it on my own. So I was recording very high mortality. In fact, there was a period when top feed gave me wrong feed. I lost almost 200 birds. Because they gave me wrong feed. Then at 5 weeks, then I now changed from starter to finisher. I discovered that the starter they gave, the finisher they gave to me were long like this. So the chicken was choked. Then after that, I started following the company's treaty. That is Afrimatch sent me their program. So I followed up their program and I started recording less casualty. If I have to, I used to keep 400 birds.
Okay.
In the last one I'm saying now, I think I lost 2 birds.
Okay. All right. Now, we are in a general class now.
Yes.
If you have had about, you say how many now? 400. If you have had about 400 birds, and then you have 20 mortalities, is it a pass mark?
Yes.
Is it a pass mark?
Yes.
I think so. Can we clap for him?
Yes.
Pass mark. All right. At what you said the birds at 5 weeks you changed to
Finisher.
finisher at 5 weeks. So at what week do you sell your birds? If you change the feed at 5 weeks, so how long will the birds get to stay before you take them into?
You start selling to 6, 7 weeks.
6, 7 weeks you start selling them. All right. Can we clap for him? Thank you, sir. Yes, Mama?
Unfortunately, we are together.
You are together?
Yes, he gave me, I was passing through the same box like that. I also introduced the local, that vinegar. So we saw some results a little.
All right. Thank you, Mama. God bless you. I think we are getting closer. One, let me talk about poultry farming now.
Excuse me, sir. Let me just mention one thing.
Go ahead.
So the birds I have now, they are 8 weeks. At 7 weeks, I noticed because of this increase in food, the drugs were expensive. Then the feeds were expensive. So, and now look at it. I went through the net. I discovered that bitter leaf, scent leaf, and hospital is too far.
Yes.
When I mix it and give to the bird, there's this sickness that the birds pass out white stool. So I discovered that when I started giving them stool, bitter leaf, scent leaf, and hospital is too far. They didn't die again, and they stopped doing it. So I'm now not using their drugs. I'm using
Can we clap for him again? Hello. When you come to cultivation or production in Nigeria, number one problem we normally have is the cost effect. The cost of production is so high because materials are costly. Am I right? Now, if you can't sell below your cost price, whatever your production is, you must sell to make profit. So if it takes me 5,000 naira to produce one bed, I can't sell 4,000. So I must add something on top to make my profit. Is that true?
Yes.
Now, some of the things I'm going to say here is going to be very surprising to some of us. And after the surprises, we will go into the practical. Because I will come back here to evaluate the result. And the result will be publicly. If you go through those my YouTube, you will see the results we have done in the public. Everything we say here, we do them in the public. That's why I said we are not on the white paper, we are on the green grass. You know, there is no much thing in spirituality in agriculture. Your farm is doing well, it's doing well. It's not doing well, it's not doing well. Now, we don't have much time, but let me make this introduction. This is nano animal nutrient. Nano animal nutrient. This nano nutrient in my hand is for fish, is for dog, is for cow, is for goat, is for all animals. The only thing that differs is the application method. Do we understand that? The only thing that differs is the application method. What do we do? And some of us who are into the poultry industry, you can brood your bird, nurture the bird, and it gets to maturity, and it will not cost you more than 2,500 per bed. It will not cost you above what?
2,500.
Because we will soon go to the practical. It will not cost you that. With the application of nanotechnology, in your poultry farm, you need zero or small or limited medication. Your birds won't be sick to need medication. But if they are sick, you treat them. But with this, it is rare for your birds to be what? Sick. Some of us here have traveled outside Nigeria. And then you go to overseas and you sit down in hotels or in eateries. They give you appetizer. Appetizer is something that you eat to see that they have good food. And after eating the appetizer, if you like, you can walk away. Nobody asks you any question. And then you go to overseas, one of the things they give you as appetizer is poultry meat, chicken meat. Chicken. It's everywhere. Why must we be eating chicken meat as seasonal meat in Nigeria? We want to eradicate that one. We want to do what? Eradicate. I want to live, and I want you to live in a world where our children, the poorest of the poor, can be going to school with poultry meat and egg in their lunch bag. We are going to live to see it. The Ebonyi State Secretary of AAC Cooperative, he said when he gained admission and they gave him to study agriculture, he said he worked for many days. Because in his mentality, it's like going to be poor. Yeah, he said it properly. It's like where you see poverty and you want to go and embrace it. Because they believe people in the agricultural sector, or you go to the village, you see, I'm doing agriculture, I'm doing agriculture. No. With agriculture, we can create employment. Yes. With agriculture, our youth can be comfortable. Yes. That's what we are doing here now. Surprisingly to some of us here, but not to all, with the use of nanotechnology nutrients, you can eat your best in 4 weeks. 4 weeks is how many months? It's a month. We're going to practical. At most 5 weeks, your birds are weighing more than 2 kg. At 5 weeks, that bird must. When I say must, I put it pure ED. Weigh above 2 kg. When you get to 5 weeks to enter 6 weeks, that bird must weigh above 3 kg, getting to 4 kg. If you check in my YouTube, you will see the ones that were weighed publicly. Check in the YouTube. You see the ones that weighed publicly. And then after today, we encourage some farmers to go home with this nutrient. In 5 weeks, we can come back here. Amen. How many of you want us to come back? Yes. Yes, we will come back to check what we have said. Is that true? Yes. Is it false? And with the application, the birds will not easily be sick. That's what we are talking about. Assuming this place now is our pain, you bring in new birds. Before you bring in the new birds, you must have mixed the water. Not too long. Keep it. The moment you let them off from the carton inside your brooding house, they will look for food. Yes. Am I right? Yes. But if they see water, they'll start doing what? Make sure you see it or you notice that they have all taken the water. That's why you have enough drinker, not only 1, 2 to serve many birds. And when they drink the water, remove the feed, remove the water. For how many minutes? 40 minutes. By so doing, they have all consume the nutrients as it's in the water. But eventually, they couldn't finish it today, and they still stay till tomorrow. There's no problem in that. There's no problem in that. But make sure they eat and take this nutrient fresh as you're giving them feed. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Now, with the intake of this nutrient, and in your poultry pen, you are going to have what we call odorless farm. Odorless. You will have poultry in your compound, and somebody steps in without knowing there's a poultry farm there. Odorless. You're going to achieve that. And by so doing, I have said you give it 10 grams to 10 liters for 3 days. You now change from 10 grams to 5 liters. The adult dose is 10 grams to 5 liters. At 3 days, they are not adults yet, but their body has opened up for the intake and assimilation of food and nutrients. Of course, you must have to also get a feed that you know is reliable. You don't, because you have nanonutrients, you now give them acidic feed. All of us are poultry farmers, and I know you know the feed that is good. I'm not here to advertise for feed makers, but every poultry farmer can attest the one he or she has been using, and it's working for you. Now, after 10 grams to 10 liters in 3 days time, what do we do now? We change to how? 10 grams to how many? 5 liters. You leave it there. That same day, after 3 days, you take 10 grams and put it in their feed, 4 kg of their feed. How many kg? 4 kg of their feed. By so doing, what you have done is to increase the quantity of the nutrient that goes into the bed. As we say, as my definition, I define nano as a simple, single, indivisible molecule of an energy. It makes it possible, as they drink the water, the absorption rate and assimilation in their body system is over 95%.
Come again, nano, simple, indivisible,
Elements. Very small, yes.
Like an atom in those days.
When I say indivisible, good. If you give it to your dog, the head alone will make you have more love for your dog. Yeah, good.
and rabbit.
Anything animal, you apply it there. Now this is miracle 1 and this is miracle 2. I said this is up to 4 bags of fertilizer. Let me talk a little about fertilizer. Harmful fertilizer contents have devastated our land and our body system. Some of the illness and the state of health, you cannot conclude the well-being of a people without talking about the lifespan. Am I right? And then, what is the lifespan we have in Nigeria and Africa? What is the lifespan? And you cannot make a clear distinction without mentioning our food intake. And not only the food intake, you talk about the contents of the food that we consume. If you use acidic fertilizer to plant your crop. That crop, whether it's tuber, legume, or fruiting, will absorb at least, if it doesn't, let me say 0.01% of chemical content into it. And when you eat it, anyway, I have eaten mine, no problem. When it grows from 1 year, 2 years, cumulatively in 4 years' time, it will go from insignificant to what? Being significant. That is why we are having these problems and challenges. That's why. We are in Cross River State. Cross River State, I think, is the state that houses so many white people in Nigeria. So many white people are here because of your climate and because of the serenity of the environment. Can you clap for Cross River State? You're doing well. And now listen. I know we may have hoteliers here. Our chief executive seated here. How many times have you walked into your hotel and you see white people sitting and eating where you're eating? I want you to challenge yourself. How many of them? I went to Port Harcourt in this same presentation. As I was making my presentation in Port Harcourt, talking, one man stood up. He raised his hand. I said, yes, sir. Can I finish my presentation? No, I want to say something. I said, let's permit him. The man said, I am the ADP manager, a former ADP manager in Port Harcourt. I was in charge of that sector when the chemical fertilizer was produced. I am among the people that supervised where it was packed in Riverside. Before I left the service, that house collapsed. If we have fertilizer dealers here, do you put it on the floor? Do you put it on the floor?
No.
Why? Huh? It will destroy the floor, am I right? Yes. Now you think that as you use it to plant and your crops are absorbing it, you're not sharing in that intake? That is it. The acidity of our food is so high. It becomes a health problem, a health issue for us. At Umuahia, a professor from College of Agriculture, Umuahia, I confronted him. I said, Prof, sir, you have been a professor in this field. And then what I'm saying, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. He said, yes, Doc, we are aware, but where is the alternative? If I go all my way, do you have alternative to present? Today we have alternative. Today we have alternative. Whatever you use this fertilizer to produce has no single chemical content beyond human consumption. Tested and approved by Ahmadu Bello University. I have the documents with me, I can give you. To save cost, increase productivity, and also produce healthy food. See, sorry. This is Miracle 1. It is for quick maturity and stronger stem. Quick maturity and stronger stem. This is Miracle 2. Is for adhesiveness and fruiting. So they are not the same. But at the time, you can combine the same. Take 20 meals, add it into 20 liters of water. How many meals?
20 meals.
How many liters of water?
20 liters of water.
Stir the water. All the water has become fertilizer. All the water has become what?
Fertilizer.
Now, if I take 20 meals into 20 liters and I have 20 liters into 100 meals, how many of the quantity of water?
10.
Mathematics.
How many meals?
This is 100 meals. If I take 20 meals here to 20 liters, 20 meals to 20 liters, how many liters of water will I have by 100 meals? 100 liters of water. 100 liters, am I right? Now listen. If I use my knapsack and be collecting water from 100 liters and spreading it in my farm, not on the ground, it is foliar application on the leaves. If I have this farm now, I have 100 liters of water and I use my knapsack to be applying it on the leaves of what I plant, I can go into a hectare of land. And it is beyond the size that 4 bags of fertilizer can get to you. You understand that?
Yes.
That is on this. By the application of this nanonutrient on your plant and crops, the soil texture becomes irrelevant. The soil texture becomes what?
Irrelevant.
Quite irrelevant. What your plant and crop need is the application of this on the leaves. Your plant will absorb more than 90% of its food from the foliar application. So it absorbs little or nothing from the soil. That is why the more you use the conventional fertilizer, the more it corrodes your land. The more you use nano fertilizer, the more your land becomes fertile. Why? Because whatever you produce doesn't 100% depend on the soil nutrient. And if it doesn't depend on the soil nutrient and you are farming for 2-3 years, what is happening to the soil? It becomes more fertile. Even the land that chemical fertilizer has destroyed, we can reverse them with the application of that. Now, you see in this house now, if we go outside there, we can remove our interlock and plant, it will grow and germinate. A young man came to me and he said, my father has a vast land he was using as molding block industry. It was block industry. And having that block industry in that particular land for many years, so that land to him becomes useless. It can't produce anything. I said, no, you can plant there and it will germinate. It was like a surprise. If you meet such a soil or such a land that you see that is not fertile, what do? If you want to plant crop, you want to plant like cassava, cut all of them, take 20 meals from this, put it in the water, take the seed on the stem, soak it for about an hour or more than an hour. Your seed or your stem has absorbed the nutrient. If you plant it there, it doesn't require the soil texture to sprout up because it has absorbed the nutrient it requires to germinate. Immediately it germinates, after 1 week, the leaves will all broaden up. And you start applying it on their leaves. And the nutrient it requires also to grow is not dependent on the soil. So it will do well. It will do well. This can guarantee us all-round farming season. All-round farming season. What you need to do is make an application on the leaves. And someone can ask me a question. I have my coconut. I have my mango. I have trees that they have grown beyond my hands, getting to the leaves. Am I right?
Yes.
So should I use ladder to climb them up? No. This fertilizer has nothing to do with the soil. Apply it on the soil. No. Apply it on the stem. Apply it on the where? You know how slippery the coconut body is? You know how slippery it is?
Yes.
You know how slippery the banana stem is?
Yes.
Apply it, it will absorb. That's why it's called nano. Yes. Now, if you use your knapsack, use your knapsack or an improvise.
That's spraying machine.
Yes, spraying machine. If you don't have spraying machine, use an improvise. What is an improvise? Yes. You can get what? You can get a bottle like this. Open the cover. Take nail. Open it small. As you take it, you begin to apply it on the leaves. It has nothing to do with the soil. Apply it on the leaves. It's foliar application. If you have your coconut, your cashew, whatever you have, when it fruits, it all falls down all. Apply Miracle 2, the difference will be clear. It is for adhesive. And whatever you use it to plant, it stays. Hello? Now, you apply it early in the morning or later in the evening, not under a heavy sun. Not what? You can apply it to your fruited pumpkin. And after that, you harvest and eat. It's not poisonous. You can apply it on your tomatoes. After you harvest it and cook, it's not poisonous. You can apply it on your anything you apply it on. And after that, you do what? Eat. You harvest it and eat because it has no toxicity. It has no harmful chemical content in it.